Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Captain America Brave New World dropped its first look teaser trailer footage at CinemaCon, and we need to break down everything we saw in this footage because there's at least one huge detail from it that no one is talking about. No, this is not going to be another video about the corpse of the celestial Tiamat in the Indian Ocean. I'm not saying Marvel is never going back there in this movie or in Thunderbolt, but I'm just saying that this actual footage from the movie is pointing in a different direction for now, so we're gonna break it down. Okay, so at CinemaCon, Kevin Feige and Anthony Mackie unveiled some footage for Captain America 4 Brave New World coming February 14th, 2025, and they promised it would remind viewers of 2014's Captain America the Winter Soldier as a fast-paced, paranoid political thriller. This film is going to pick up after the events of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, in which Sam Wilson officially became Captain America, now bearing the shield and with a new suit that they are promptly doing away with in this movie. And this trailer opens with Captain America Sam Wilson having returned from some mission in Mexico and now meeting with US President Thaddeus Ross, played by Harrison Ford. Sam says, "I have to admit, I'm still not used to the new look." And President Ross says, "Me either. They said lose the mustache or lose the election. What you did down in Mexico opened my eyes. I've never been a fan of so-called superheroes, but even I can't deny the good you've done. I want Captain America to help me rebuild the Avengers." So Harrison Ford is replacing the late William Hurt in the role of Thaddeus Ross, who first appeared in the 2008 Incredible Hulk film and went on to be the US Secretary of State in 2016's Captain America Civil War, and also appeared from around that era in the 2021 Black Widow film. And this line about the mustache here sounds like it's the same kind of joke that we heard at the beginning of Iron Man 2, when Don Cheadle replaced Terrence Howard in the role of James Rhodes.
Didn't expect to see you here.
Look, it's me. I'm here. Deal with it. Let's move on.
I just
Drop it.
All right.
Now, you may remember the events of Black Panther Wakanda Forever and Secret Invasion, in which the president in the MCU was President Ritson, played by Dermot Mulroney. So presumably since then there was an election, and former Secretary of State Thaddeus Ross won that election. It turns out it was not an issue of Thaddeus Ross being like vice president and Ritson dying in office or resigning or being impeached. He just lost re-election to Thaddeus Ross. And we don't know what either of their political parties were. Who knows? Maybe Ross is from the same political party and like primaried Ritson and then won that party's nomination and then went on to win the general election. We don't know. Either way, it was a normal political process in which Thaddeus Ross became president. But by President Ross telling Sam that he needs to rebuild the Avengers, Marvel is acknowledging that the Avengers currently are gone or defunct. The closest thing to the Avengers we've seen in the MCU since Avengers Endgame was that moment with Wong, Bruce Banner, Carol Danvers, and Shang-Chi and Katie gathering to talk about the Ten Rings in the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi. The Avengers, of course, have come up in several instances, but we don't know what the exact Avengers lineup is. So the trailer footage moves on to this press conference where President Ross stands before Sam Wilson and Joaquin Torres. Joaquin Torres has now replaced Sam as Falcon after the events of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And the president is presenting to attendees his plan to use Wilson and Torres to rebuild the Avengers. And several world leaders are in gathering here, but the president drops perhaps the most interesting tidbit of the trailer. He credits Sam and Joaquin for retrieving, quote, the discovery of the Millennium that he says had been stolen from a Japanese mining site. But before the president can give more details, the speakers play this music that brainwashes Secret Service agents, as well as Isaiah Bradley, Carl Lumbly, who's also in attendance, and they all begin attacking President Ross. Isaiah Bradley, with a look in his eyes similar to Bucky in Winter Soldier and in Civil War, tosses Sam Wilson, he throws a table at people, he raises a firearm, and he begins shooting politicians and world leaders. It is incredibly intense. Harrison Ford as Thaddeus Ross punches a Secret Service agent, and then a SWAT strike team comes in to protect the president and extract him, and Sam takes on Isaiah Bradley. They fight, but Isaiah escapes by jumping out a window. And we hear Sam in this trailer footage saying, "Our inner circle has been compromised." Yeah, no shit. So the trailer footage includes some action footage of gunfire and explosions, Sam and Joaquin fighting alongside each other, and then Sam getting attacked at the White House using his shield to block himself from Secret Service agents trying to tase him. But the trailer ends with President Ross and Sam in this secure bunker, and the president's wearing this, weekend fleece that sometimes you see presidents wearing, and President Ross growls, "Just do your job, you're not Steve Rogers." And Sam responds, "You're right, I'm not." And the trailer ends with a reveal of Sam's new stealth suit as he deploys his wings. We actually saw this suit design on some merch that was released in recent months. Yes, this suit is different from the white cowl suit that Sam was given by the Wakandans in the final episodes of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Why would that show put all this effort into Sam getting a new suit in that series just to upgrade his suit yet again in this movie between titles? That's kind of par for the course for Marvel, isn't it? But this brainwash music is almost certainly the doing of the leader, Samuel Stearns. Tim Blake Nelson returns returning after the events of 2008's The Incredible Hulk. But I doubt he's acting alone, and perhaps the CIA Director Val, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, gave him access to the White House's internal PA system. The way Zemo used Bucky as a patsy, it seems like the leader is using Isaiah Bradley the same way. And it's especially cruel considering the way the US government tortured Isaiah for decades of his life. In one of the episodes of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, perhaps the best episode of that season, Isaiah goes into grim detail of everything he went through, from being promised to be the Black Captain America to just basically being a prisoner for decades. But that music that activated all of them, I'm curious to know how it was composed, and if perhaps mixed into the lyrics could be some alternate version of the Winter Soldier activation words. We heard them in Russian, but the words were longing, rusted, furnace, daybreak, 17, benign, sign, homecoming, one, and freight car. But there would have to be some reason it would only activate Isaiah and these Secret Service agents and not anyone else in attendance. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. Being healthy means more than just eating well and going to the gym. It means being mentally healthy too. Just like you might need a trainer to help you with your gym routine, you might need a therapist to help you with your mental health, and BetterHelp can help you find one that is right for you. BetterHelp makes starting therapy easier and less intimidating for a lot of people. First, use our link to go to their site, betterhelp.com/newrockstars. The site will ask you to answer a few questions so BetterHelp can match you to an experienced professional who specializes in whatever you're struggling with. You can do it all from your phone or computer via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel most comfortable. It's the easiest possible way to start talking to a therapist. You'll be matched to a therapist usually within 48 hours, so you can get started fast. We've been promoting BetterHelp for a while, and we've heard some amazing feedback from you guys. We got permission to share this review from one of our viewers who said, quote, "I used to be against the idea of therapy and didn't need it. After one session with my therapist, I completely pivoted and realized how beneficial therapy truly is. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you, all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/newrockstars or choose New Rockstars during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month." But think about it, with world leaders being killed at this event on American soil, that is the kind of incident that could lead to an international conflict, or maybe even a world war. This conflict seems to be over this discovery of the millennium at a Japanese mining site. Discovery of a 1,000-year period? That's a lot! What could that be in the MCU? My mind first went to adamantium, because there was that subplot to the 2013's The Wolverine film from James Mangold, in which Shinjin Yashida, head of the dying Yashida Corporation, whom Logan had saved during the bombing of Nagasaki in 1945, had been stockpiling adamantium in northern Japan.
Since he got sick, old man Yashida spent billions stockpiling adamantium at his lab in the north.
And we learned in that movie that Yashida was using that stockpiled adamantium to build his life-sustaining Silver Samurai suit. Now, that was a completely different movie universe than the MCU is, but Japan is one country the MCU hasn't explored all that much outside of Clint Barton killing Yakuza in Tokyo during the Blip in Avengers Endgame. If Marvel Studios wanted to establish some of the region of the world to rival Central Africa and the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico as deposits of valuable rare metals that could be weaponized, Japan could be the source, or at least the first step on a global adamantium rush. Technically, in the comics, we should acknowledge adamantium is a steel alloy derived from vibranium and some unknown catalyst, meaning that adamantium is supposed to be an artificial creation, not something that you just dig up in a raw form, but I don't know how sacred the movies will be to that. In Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, CIA Director Val indicated that global interest in Wakanda and other deposits of vibranium was going to be the next worldwide conflict. And while I could say the events of Secret Invasion and the killings of world leaders over a Skrull panic contribute to that planet-wide instability, when it comes to Secret Invasion at Marvel Studios, it seems like the left hand truly did not know what the right was doing. I think that the events of Captain America: Brave New World is setting up the next Marvel World War, which could be a World War Hulk, which is how we get a Red Hulk in this movie, or maybe even this World War packaging could be the asterisk new title for Thunderbolts that is coming out after this movie in 2025. Kevin Feige compared Brave New World to the 2014 Winter Soldier film, saying that the film had no aliens, which makes me think that this fourth Captain America film will not be dealing with any kind of extraterrestrial elements, which might rule out Tiamat. Now, I guess you could say Tiamat rose up from beneath the Earth's crust, but you know, he was originally a celestial seed planted by extraterrestrial celestials like Erisham. Kevin Feige did say that this movie was relatively grounded because it's still a Marvel movie, and after the footage, he did say that the movie would co-star Harrison Ford as you've never seen him before. So that would mean Harrison Ford's not just playing a president, because we've seen Harrison Ford play the president of the United States before in Air Force One. So that phrase from Feige was him hinting that the speculation that Thaddeus Ross will transform into Red Hulk is probably going to happen. It just seems like the CinemaCon trailer wanted to be pretty careful to avoid any shots of President Ross that would indicate a Red Hulk transition. Still, that shot of him decking a brainwashed Secret Service agent shows that this stage of Thaddeus Ross is far more physical than the character has ever been in the past. So I want to know what you think. Is the discovery of the Millennium from a mining site in Japan referring to adamantium, or just some kind of catalyst that could lead to Red Hulk? Comment down below with your thoughts. You can follow me at Erik Voss, subscribe to all 3 channels in the new Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.